Good evening, Britain. What you are about to hear is a semi-accurate play about the day a rotter took on me and the Pistols. Lock up your monarchy. This is anarchy. Our story begins in a green room before the Today Show hosted by the pervert Bill Grundy. Myself, Paul, Steve and Glen decided to have a few drinks before. They had filled the room with bottles of Blue Nun, so we decided to partake in a drink or two. Also in the room was our standard entourage. Siouxsie Sioux, who would later improve on the Beatles, is the only one notable to the story. Our manager Malcolm was also there, but he sat in the corner being overtly postmodern to himself.
Do we have to act like Queen then?
No, you cretin, we replaced them. You can act like Brian May, but I won't be. They booked Johnny, not Freddie.
The public don't want Queen, they want the Pistols, so give it to them both barrels.
The public don't care for us, this has been made evident, Malcolm, but we're covering whether they want us or not.
Who's paying for the beers? 'Cause I ain't.
I think you'll find that's the fat cats at EMI, Glen, so drink up.
Do you think Grundy's like he is on the telly all the time?
He'll act nice when we meet him, but he wants to show us as thuggish to his audience. You mark my words. This is a trial, and those watching are the jury.
You're only 3 minutes. Please follow me.
Ring the death toll. Here comes the executioner.
Sorry.
Oh, nothing. Lead on. We had little idea that we would be about to piss off people up and down the country, but we had some idea when we met Grundy.
So you are the Sex Pistols?
No, we're Shawaddy Waddy.
Yeah, we're that bunch of heads.
Very witty. Mr.
Rotten.
So you're the singer? If you can call that singing.
Now, Bill.
Mr. Grundy.
There's no need to be rude. Otherwise, I'll have to be rude back, and I don't want to be.
Well, sit down, Mr. Rotten, and keep quiet.
What about when you ask me a question?
Then you can talk. And I do not want any of your band smut on my show. They're punk rockers. The new craze, they tell me. They're heroes. Not the nice clean Rolling Stones. As you see, they're drunk as I am. They are very clean by comparison. They're a group called the Sex Pistols, and I'm surrounded by all of them.
In action.
As you can hear, his first question was loaded, so we decided to play his game and be the Pistols.
I'm told that the group have received 40,000 from a record company. Doesn't that seem to be slightly opposed to their anti-materialistic view of life?
No. The more the merrier.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, tell me more then.
We've been it, ain't we?
I don't know. Have you?
Yeah. It's all gone.
Really?
Down the boozer.
Really? Good Lord.
This continued before Grundy turned his attention to me.
Beethoven, Mozart, Bach and Brahms have all died.
They're all of our heroes, ain't they? That had thrown him off.
Really? What? What were you saying, sir?
They're wonderful people.
Are they?
Oh yeah, they really turn us on.
But there's Ed.
Well, suppose they turn other people on.
That's just their tough. Oops, silly Johnny.
It's what?
Nothing, a rude word. Next question.
No. What was the rude word? Was it really? Good heavens. You frightened me to death.
All right, Siegfried. Having caught me out, Grundy turned into a lecture and turned on poor Siouxsie, which annoyed Stephen.
Are you worried? Are you just enjoying yourself?
Enjoying myself.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I thought you were doing.
I always wanted to meet you.
Did you really?
Yeah.
We'll meet afterwards. Shall we?
You dirty sod. You dirty old man.
Steve knew he was talking to a drunk and talked to him like he would to any drunk in a pub and just topped him.
Well, keep going, Chief. Keep going. Go on. You've got another 5 seconds. Say something outrageous.
You dirty bastard.
Go on, again.
You dirty f***er.
What a clever boy.
What a f***ing rotter.
And that's how we pissed off Britain. However, the exciting bit is what happens next. We were escorted back to the green room. Malcolm was there waiting for us, as white as Susie's painted face.
What did you do that for?
Oh, come on, Mal.
Why?
It was counting us off the...
We've got to leave now. We've got to get out of here now.
Let us finish our drinks first.
Now, come quick. We got to get out of this building. The police are coming.
That was Malcolm in the heat of the moment, but come the next day would claim it was all his idea. The interview had gone perfectly. It was vintage comedy like Arthur Esky, the beginning of the great Sex Pistols circus. We left like Malcolm told us and took solace back in our gaff on Denmark Street. When we got back to Denmark Street, the band and Siouxsie decided to continue drinking, lager instead of Blue Nun. While they messed about, I began doing what I did in this room, and drew on the wall.
That
He started the fight and we won it, Steve.
Rotten, are you drawing on the walls again?
I don't know, Steve, am I?
I can see you doing it. Why do you keep doing that?
It looks too posh and poncy. Not very us, Steve, so I'm changing that.
What's that your drawing?
I drew myself and Paul, so I thought I'd add you. Just kindness, Stephen.
Look at the size of it. I ain't fat.
Stephen, behave. I think I'll name this one Fatty Jones after your description.
Johnny, don't. I'll live here. John!
Stephen, the wall never lies. Look at Paul's teeth and then the drawing. An excellent impression.
Fatty Jones in my own ass.
The partying continued for several hours, with more written and drawn.
He was all over Siouxsie, weren't he?
He's a dirty old man, that's why.
Yeah, the dirty sod. He was horrible. Nothing like on television.
He was trying to have it off with you. You should have done it.
Oh, don't be horrible. I would never have sex with him.
His beer breath would be more potent than Fatty's.
Shut up, Rotten. And you, Glen.
Forget I said anything.
That's the second time I've defended you, Siouxsie. So,
What? Oh, you can sod off, Steve. I wouldn't have it off with you or Grundy.
Quite right, too. Round of applause for women's right to choose which fatty they fornicate with. We continued to quaff beer throughout the night. My satirical drawing still aggravated Fatty, and Siouxsie continued to reject him. We then settled in on the moth-eaten mattresses that Glen and Stephen called beds for some beauty sleep. I, of course, needed much less than them. We awoke the next morning to a raucous knocking at the doors and windows of Denmark Street. Our little incident with Grundy had made headline news. We had become public enemy number one, and I was Al Capone, the figurehead for this rebellious movement. Perfect. It's not like me to be controversial. Our behaviour seemed to have enraged a lot of people, with truckers up and down the country kicking in their television sets.
What is that?
Rotten, is that you?
Oh yes, Glen. I'm outside smashing the door in as well as sitting here.
Well, who is it then?
How do I know? It could be Grundy after a bit more of Siouxsie.
Shut up, Rotten. Go and see.
Fine. Who goes there, friend or Ted?
Mr. Lydon. Mr. Lydon.
Mr. Rotten.
What do you have to say about people calling you the most vilified band ever?
More than the Bay City Rollers.
What about people calling you the vilest man in pop?
It ain't pop, it's punk. And I'm only second to Clifford Richard. Now be about your business.
The world's press at our little squat. I would have tied it up first.
We've got to leave, Rotten. Should we go out the back way?
To Dryden Chambers, rally the troops. Dryden Chambers was Malcolm's office and provided Pistol's headquarters. Malcolm would have loved this kind of media madness and needed to share in the revelry. We decided we would scarper there. This would involve going up Charing Cross Road and then down Oxford Street.
Being chased down Oxford Street, it's like being in the Beatles.
I hate the Beatles. Stephen, try and keep up. Stephen managed to keep up, and we entered our glorious punk palace to find the neurot that called himself our manager smirking to himself.
Boys, 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 it worked. Front page of every newspaper. Whether they want us or not, we've arrived.
You what?
The nation is split. People love us or hate us. Wherever you play, there will be people protesting it, as well as watching it, which means the newspapers will come. Forget Top of the Pops. This is the real way to sell albums. Brute force outrage.
And this was your plan, was it?
We did it. We did it, boys. The Pistols rise. Rotten the poster boy for the punk generation.
Why can't I be the poster boy?
Oh, come now, Stephen. I just have classic good looks. And you, well, don't. Come Wednesday, no one will remember that interview.
This is just the start, boys. You mark my words.
And how right he was. 40 years on, that interview is still being dragged out on crap clip shows about television or the 70s. I was that poster boy, and Grundy is only remembered for that.
This is it, boys, the precipice of greatness for you. Never mind the bollocks world. Here come the Sex Pistols.
Good name for an album.
And they all lived happily ever after. Or some other wrapping up nonsense. That was not all fact, but rather a rotten version of the events of that day, embellished for your entertainment. So ends the reading from the King John's Bible. Good night, listeners. Keep rotten.